This is Greenfoot Chapter 3, and we are going to continue working on the little crab program. We are going to be learning how to input random behavior and use keyboard control, such as the left and right mouse, or not mouse, but the left and right arrow keys. Eventually you could also use the mouse, and sound into the projects. There is a little part where you can create your own sounds, or you can use built-in sounds. The concepts that we will look at are something called dot notation, random numbers, defining methods, refactoring code into methods, writing comments, and reading the Java API. There are some Greenfoot videos, 7 through 9, that are some helper videos. They will show you how to add line numbers and generate random numbers. Our scenario that we will continue with is the little crab, and an optional scenario, depending on your instructor, is the Stickman exercises. We are going to move and look at the little crab right now to see what our end result should look like at the end of this chapter. At the end of this chapter, you should have a world where you have crabs, lobsters, and you have worms. And as the actors or these objects run around the screen, you will see that the crabs will get eaten by the lobsters, and the crabs will also then eat the worms. I reset the world so you can see that a little bit more, but the crabs are going to eat the worms. The lobsters will eat the crabs. It's not all the way finished because you can see that the crabs get hung up on the right-hand side. There are some sound effects, which is delaying the program, and there is some random movement. The lobsters are moving randomly. I opened up the crab class just so you could see it, and if you notice, we've got a check key press and a look for a worm, and the check key press, I did not use that, is going to actually check to see if a left or right keyboard mouse is down, and I just said keyboard mouse, but I meant a left or right keyboard arrow. And you can also see down here where the sound wave is being played. One cool thing that you are going to learn about the Java API in this particular chapter is this dot notation. The dot is used to access methods, like isKeyDown is a Greenfoot class method. And if I click the dot operator and then I do a shortcut, I was saying if I do the dot operator and then I hit a shortcut key, Control spacebar, it brings up all the different options that I can perform with this Greenfoot class object. And so that's kind of like a little bit of a shortcut, and that's how we access some of the API methods. Again, in order to do that, you have the dot operator and then Control spacebar, and it brings up all of those options. And this particular one that we were looking for was isKeyDown. And if you also notice, it shows you what kind of parameter that you might need. I need a string. And so on isKeyDown, and it gives you a hint. It says key name. Well, we want the left key, so we are going to do left. And that's kind of a neat little option that's available. I'm going to delete this out now. And that gives you a little brief overview of the crab scenario that you're going to be finishing up, and not 100%, but you are going to be refining in this particular chapter. Also take a look here at the fact that you're going to write a method, look for a worm, and the method is going to be moved further on down in your code. That's called refactoring, or they're going to talk about refactoring your code so that your act method just has these short little phrases that gives you an idea of what the program's about. It's almost like this is pseudocode. You're going to check for a key press, you're going to move, you're going to look for a worm. You're going to check for a key press, you're going to move, you're going to look for a worm. And that happens to be if you are a crab. Last but not least, I do want to mention there is one other scenario that your instructor might have you look at. The other scenario you might look at is what's called Stickman. And currently this doesn't do anything right now. There isn't any code in here. They are exercises for at the end of the chapter. And the idea is that you would create the Stickman to react to voice and sound. So it depends on whether or not you have some of that capability in your lab. That's it for the overview of Chapter 3. There are some helper videos that can help you in this chapter, so please take advantage and look at them. And so we go back and just take a look. Dot notation, random numbers are going to be huge. Refactoring code into methods and using methods is also going to be huge in this section. Good luck with Chapter 3, and don't forget to ask for lots of help if you need any.